The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees. Hey Bremerton and Kitsap, welcome to Trash Talk. My name is Reama. Every episode, we'll have a chat with a local expert and talk about all things waste and waste reduction. Come with me on a journey as we learn some things and find some good questions to chase down together. The first thing is learning about the mysterious away we throw everything into. It's an ethereal concept in the modern day. Today's guest is Caitlin Newman, a program supervisor at Kitsap County Public Works. Welcome to the show, Caitlin.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk trash.
Yeah, let's go. So can you tell us a little bit about your work at the county?
Yeah, so I work in the Public Works Department of Kitsap County. The Public Works Department is responsible for roads and sewer and stormwater systems, and also for creating a system for managing Kitsap County's waste. That's the solid waste division, and that's where I work.
And what got you started and interested in dealing with all of our garbage?
Yeah, I took a part-time job when I lived in Seattle doing education at fairs and farmers markets and festivals, talking to people about composting and recycling. And then from there, found a permanent position, and I just love the variety. Every day is something different. We're handling every single type of material created by humans, so there's endless variety. And I love serving the public.
What's the most interesting thing that you found in your work with our
In
waste?
the trash?
Yeah.
Let's see. We had a crew out cleaning up illegal dump sites once, and they came across like an old-timey briefcase that was full of mannequin parts. I didn't actually get to see that, but that always sticks in my head.
Yeah. You said dump sites. So yep. I understand from your talk at the History Uncorked that there are there's a list of sites in Kitsap. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the list of old municipal dumps in Kitsap is very long. So in the old days, we used to bury our trash right here in Kitsap County. And sometimes we didn't even bury it. Sometimes we just piled it up and burned it. These were open burn dumps, they were called. Eventually we got wise and started burying our trash. But there are 45 known dumps in Kitsap County that are mapped. They're all closed. There are no active dumps anymore. We ship our waste out now.
I have a personal goal of visiting all of them, and I wonder if we should have like a passport program so that we can educate the public on the history of our trash and waste here in Kitsap.
I love it. I know a lot of them are actually fenced and closed. You can't go in there because there are some risks.
Sure.
They used to bury cars, on their sides, and if that window breaks through, you're going into that car. So yeah, I'll let you work on the passport alone.
Yeah, I don't know if I want people to go in, but I love to hype that we just are not as in touch with our trash as we used to be. It used to be in our backyard and at the end of our street, as you were talking about at the History Uncorked. So Kitsap History Museum does the monthly History Uncorked at downtown, and you were there over the summer, right?
Yeah, a few months ago, I was asked to give a presentation at the Uncorked, and I focused on how Kitsap and specifically Bremerton used to manage its trash. So we talked about all the open burning and all the weird things that people would do. It was really great.
So how do we manage our trash now?
Today, when garbage is collected from across the county, it goes to the Olympic View Transfer Station, which is owned by Kitsap County. We contract out the management of that facility to Waste Management, a private company. And at the facility, all the garbage is dumped onto a large floor that's called the tipping floor. And it's compacted a little bit, and then it's pushed into a chute in the wall, and that chute goes into a garbage compactor. The garbage is squished into 48-foot shipping containers, 30,000 pounds of garbage in each container, and then those containers go on a train, and the train travels 300 miles to Oregon to a landfill.
Yeah, I understand it's 4 trains, is that right? Between here in Kitsap all the way to Oregon, it has to be put on 4 trains.
heads down to like Shelton and then down to Portland and joins another garbage train, and then all the garbage goes together.
Yay, garbage party.
Yeah.
How many people do you guess have to touch our trash from the time that we put it on the curbside until it's at its final destination in Oregon?
Yeah, so there's the truck, and then at the transfer station, and then, the trains, all of, attaching the train cars, all of that. And then once it gets to the landfill, it's dumped and covered and never again. So not that many times. The whole efficiency part of the system is that you don't touch it very many times.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, into a thick plastic-lined dump landfill in Oregon, and then covered and more. So how close are we to filling that? When do we need to be concerned about our trash again?
I think it's got around 120 years left of life at the current disposal rates. So if we can decrease the amount that we're sending there, we can extend its life.
Which is a really important thing to do. Using our things more, repairing. Kitsap County is doing some Fix-It fairs this year and also next year. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, Fix-It fairs, they're also called repair cafes in other communities, are free community events where skilled volunteers will come and donate their time to fix their neighbors' broken stuff. We get a lot of lamps, a lot of vacuums, worn out clothing that maybe just needs a button or a mend. We have a website that lists all of them. We are working with the libraries, so most of them are at local libraries.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when someone comes with their broken item, they fill out a form, they get in a line, and then what's their experience like when they finally get to the person that can help them extend the life of their item?
Yeah, they introduce each other and they talk about what's wrong with it, and then they start the troubleshooting process, open it up, see which parts are not working, what's broken, and then the fixer will typically fix it right there using the supply library that we bring to each event. We have a pretty high, I think it's like 60 to 90% success rate at each event. Sometimes the parts are specialty, so the fixer will advise the guests that they should go buy a specific part, maybe come back to another event, and then they can resume the fixing process.
Sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of repair, there's some new legislation that passed this year that will hopefully help us in reducing our amount of trash. So lots of action on that this year. What are some highlights that you can share?
Yeah, so, there's been a trend for many decades of creating items that are single use, hard to repair, not very durable, and tides are changing there. A lot of government agencies across the world are passing legislation that requires manufacturers to provide parts, manuals on how to repair, just information, and not hide that away. So the state legislature in Washington passed a right to repair bill that provides those parts and information to independent repair companies so that if you have a broken thing, you can take it to someone and they will know how to fix it.
When can we look forward to that?
Ooh, I don't know when that goes into effect. Yeah.
Well, I am looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that the tools will be included and the manual to fix it and any specialty parts so we can really take ownership of the things that are around us. I think that's one of the reasons why we throw so many things away. We're just detached from our objects, and there's nothing that solidifies the commitment that we have to our stuff, like fixing it and keeping its life.
Yeah, I try to use the word belongings when talking about people's stuff.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah,
in a way,
to try
honestly.
to make that connection back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot about like clothes, especially because textile waste is a whole other topic for another day. But there's so many free clothes around. There's free clothing closets from time to time in Charleston, and it's really fun to see people like wear clothes that their friends used to wear.
Yeah.
And then they have a shared memory where they're sharing clothes. It like weaves us together in a way. I think it's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, people used to share wedding dresses. Like, how special is it to see someone get married in the clothes that you took vows in? Like, that kind of relationship, we are separating ourselves from our community in a way because we have so much trash and fast fashion. And I think it's really cool that we can pass items around, extending their life. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, and the Buy Nothing community is, you know, I think a vital part of most communities. It's a Facebook group where you can give away items
as a gift.
Yeah, a gift economy.
Yes.
Yeah, no strings attached.
That was honestly the start of my journey so long ago. Did you know it was started on Bainbridge Island right here in Kitsap?
That's so cool.
Yeah, now it's worldwide, over 200 countries. It's amazing.
Yeah, that and pickleball, Bainbridge Island.
Yeah.
Make some good things.
I have yet to try pickleball, but I'm definitely here for Buy Nothing project. Yeah. So what other, that was Right to Repair. So what other things are coming down for coming soon this decade?
Yeah. Other upcoming legislative actions. The state, this past legislative session, passed the Recycling Reform Act. That will transform or at least improve residential recycling systems across the state. There's multiple parts to it. It's pretty complicated. It'll be rolled out over 6 years. The Recycling Reform website has a full timeline of when things are going to change, what's going to happen, and everybody's role in the process, because you know, recycling is a market system. It's a supply chain, so everybody has a role in this process. Yeah,
we at the WSRA, Washington State Recycling Association conference, there were so many great topics, and they really did talk about that a lot. I felt a communal hope with the other trash nerds in the room. We all took a big sigh of relief when they were talking about what the future could look like as far as recycling.
Yeah. One big thing that this Reform Act will create is a statewide recycling list that all residents will have access to recycling for this specific list of materials, and manufacturers will have to provide those recycling opportunities. So if you already have recycling at home, collection services, then the cost of that, up to 90%, will be reimbursed by the manufacturers.
90% of recycling
costs.
Wow.
Residential recycling costs. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
What are some common things that people don't recycle but could, and people that put things in the recycling that shouldn't? Wish cycling. What are some common things on both sides?
Yeah, I've just been looking at this data. Kitsap County is working on rewriting our solid waste plan. And there's lots of good data about what's going into the garbage that shouldn't be, that could have been recycled. It just boggles my mind that metal is going into the garbage. Infinitely recyclable, very valuable. That always shocks me.
Do you think it's because it's like not clean enough to go in the recycling? I'm also curious about the standard of cleanliness, because do we need to rinse out our beer cans before we put them in the recycling, or are they fine?
I recommend giving everything a good rinse.
Okay.
At the very least, it keeps the yellow jackets away.
That's fair.
Yeah.
For the safety of our workers, yes.
Exactly, yes. They love that sticky old beer. But Waste Management owns Kitsap's recyclables. The system is such that once the recyclables go into a dumpster or into a cart, Waste Management owns those materials and they have to sell them. So they advise that I think it's a teaspoon of material of food is okay on a container. So if you have like a peanut butter jar, like a teaspoon of stuff coating it is okay. The problem with dirty recyclables that have food on it is that it can leak onto the paper. The paper really absorbs the water and absorbs the odor. And then it's hard to sell stinky paper to paper mills.
So it's not necessarily about the item itself. It's about what it can contaminate when it's in with the other things.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, because metal goes into a smelter. It's burned at high temperatures. Glass is the same. So a small amount of food contamination is going to burn off. It's not great, but it's the paper getting wet that is the big stink issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's as far as contamination and recycling. What items could be recycled that are not?
That are not being recycled.
Yeah. Was that, you mentioned metal.
Yeah, metal, paper. If we...
All paper that's not dirty. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for cartons.
Okay.
Cartons. People are quite upset that cartons are not recyclable. But if you go and see a paper mill, paper mills have to blend all the paper up, and then they have to screen off the junk because that's not going to go into the paper making process. And the stuff that they're screening off is a lot of coffee cups, cartons, because those are coated with plastic.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so you can't really blend those when they're coated with plastic. So they often end up getting thrown away at the paper mill. So we tell people just put them in the trash directly. It's way more efficient that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Regarding screening, can you inform me what happens to my garbage disposal water? Does that go into... What happens to the solids that are in the water?
Yeah, well, it depends if you're on septic or sewer system, and then it depends on where you live.
Okay.
Because each city kind of has their own sewer, their water processing or water treatment
It's not
facilities.
a county thing then? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a system. So in Bremerton, there's a water treatment facility kind of on the highway on 16. You smell it sometimes going into Gorse.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have processes to screen out the solids from the liquids and treat both of them separately.
Okay.
Solids, in a lot of cases, are shipped to Eastern Washington and become a fertilizer for crops.
Okay.
Crops that are not sold to people.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the clarification.
Yes, for sure.
That's great. I think there were 3 legislative things. We talked about right to repair, and we talked about the Producer Reform Act. What is it called again?
Recycling Reform Act.
Recycling Reform Act.
Yep.
And then curbside composting is coming also.
Yeah. The state passed multiple bills over multiple years to expand access to organics recycling services, so compost collection services in Washington. And it'll roll out on a different timeline depending on where you live.
Sure.
Here in Kitsap County, it's looking like in 2030, some folks will have to subscribe to collection services for yard debris and for food waste at their homes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's part of the question about the garbage disposal, because that's like composting by way of city, county, state processes, but curbside composting would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a sewer expert by any means, but my friends in the sewer division are not fans of garbage disposals.
Oh, really?
No, they don't want anyone to use garbage disposals.
Oh, well.
Just because the possibility for clogs.
Sure.
Is
okay.
Is
well,
higher.
I'll take that under advisement.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
They're not illegal by any means, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about the clogging aspect of it, and it does put more wear on the system. I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah, but if you can put your food scraps into a curbside collection cart instead of down your sink, that would be an ideal system, because then those materials that are picked up in a curbside system are actually composted locally in Kitsap County. And then the compost is sold locally in Kitsap County in a lot of cases. So that creates a local system instead of having to ship the organics to Eastern Washington to fertilize crops.
Okay.
Brings it a little closer to home.
Honestly, I'm glad you told me all of that. It's making me reconsider my... I do love my garbage disposal.
Oh, I know. There's a role for it. There's a role for it for sure.
Yeah, it was one of those I know I'm successful as an adult when I finally have a garbage disposal in my house.
I'm on septic, so it didn't come with one. But,
Okay, well, when you come to my house, you can use my garbage disposal. We don't have to tell anyone about it.
Okay, yeah, don't tell the sewer people in my office. They work just down the hall, so.
Well, I really appreciate you giving me your time today and informing me and many other people in Kitsap and Bremerton about our waste overall and some small steps we can take to reduce our waste.
Yeah, thanks. I enjoyed talking about it.
here.
Thanks, Reama.
There's always so much to discuss when we're talking trash. Waste reduction is crucial. Every time we throw it away, it travels 300 miles to Oregon. Small steps go a long way. It can feel hopeless sometimes, but the more we know, the better we can advocate for ourselves and demand change, like the Recycling Reform Act. We can rethink garbage, trash, and overconsumption. I challenge us to use it twice, use it thrice. Until next time, Bremerton and Kitsap.
Mhm.